Mr. Transformers 96 here with another collection update. This is actually part 2. I did do a part 1 where I discussed a portion of my collection room, and you feel free to check that out. In that video, I mainly focused on the like Hasbro style figures and a lot of that stuff. But in this portion of the collection, I'll be going across the room, the other like half of the room, and talking about the stuff in the glass cabinets, of course. So let's get started. Alright, and starting off with my first detail, this is has a lot of Funko products in it. Funko has kind of been introduced into this collection room a little bit since my last collection update. I used to keep it all, or at least a lot of it, focused in my room, just on my dresser. However, it started to make its way into the collection now that I've kind of formed collections of Funko items. So yeah, but before we go right into the Funko stuff, at the top, I do have my J. Scott Campbell Sideshow statue of Catwoman with the print that it's based off of, a signed print of his up at the top. So we come down here, we have the first section of the Funko stuff, and it's my It section. It's not just It, because I do have It in a little bit of another spot, but it's mainly my Pennywise. The exception to that is like Beverly and Georgie, just because I wanted to keep the chases together, and the, I had the regular figures of the chases in front of them, so yeah, but I mainly have Pennywise, and then I have my Mystery Mini Pennywise collection with two customs of mine in there. The balloons and then the wig one. I do really want that Crab Pennywise. It's the last one that I need to complete the Mini-Mates, oh sorry, the Mystery Minis. So hopefully I can get that eventually. And then yeah, I have just about all the regular, the pop Pennywises, minus like the stupid ones, like the metallic ones and stuff like that. So then we go down, we have my Leica collection, the Leica Studios, or Leica. Really big fan of them. I absolutely love their films, and so, as soon as they were doing pops, I absolutely went ham on them. I have all the pops from Leica, except for the Coraline Chase. Almost got the Coraline Chase one day, but it did not happen. I'm very disappointed. And of course I have my two NECA Coralines up top. Then we have, this is on the left side, it's mainly Stranger Things on the left, and then on the right, in a smaller portion, it's my the rest of the It stuff, mainly the kids from It, so yeah, very nice. And then at the bottom is my drone collection from Iron Man 2, the 3/4-inch drones. Really, I've always loved those drones, and I built like a little step kind of stadium standing for all of them, so they look really cool together. Yeah, overall, really like this cabinet. This is the cabinet that keeps updating and growing because a lot of these Funko products are kind of newer, so it's quite neat. Next up is the first of my larger cabinets, and this one has a row or a shelf of Star Wars, and then the rest is my DC collection. So yeah, because in my other two big cabinets like this one they're all Marvel. So I do have quite a few Marvel figures. However, I was kind of able to condense my DC and Star Wars ones together a little bit, for an exception of a couple squares and another detolf that have a few other Star Wars and DC items. But yeah, let's go over it. At the top, I'm not proud of this. This is a mess right now. I just have a bunch of random stuff on here. Really, the two statues from Pacific Rim should be the only things up there. It's just I don't really I'm rearranging some stuff. I want to get another detolf cabinet, so I just have some random stuff up there, so do apologize for that. But while we're here, you can look at the wall above it. Like I mentioned in every video of my collection here, but I have some really nice high ceilings in this room. One of my favorite parts of this room is how high the ceilings are, so I was really able to display quite a few figures there. And here we have my modern Star Wars collection. This is all, 90% of this is Force Awakens. The exception is Jyn Erso from Rogue One, of course. But I did decide not to purchase any figures from The Last Jedi, so this collection has not changed very much. But I really like the way that I've compacted it. I'm just like having it all on one shelf. You'd think it would be a little too cluttered, but I actually think it looks really nice. And the fact that they all are on the same type of base, they look really, really slick together, I must say. Below that, we have some of my more modern DC stuff. The back row is Suicide Squad with their kind of backdrop setup, which I do like. And then in front of them is Arkham. My 3 Arkham figures. I don't see myself getting any more Arkham figures. There are certainly characters that I would absolutely buy from Arkham if they made them, but I just don't think they're going to make them. But as far as like the ones that they're doing, like Deathstroke and Batwoman, I don't, or Batgirl, sorry, I don't plan to get those. And then below that we have my Dark Knight collection. Dark Knight is my favorite movie, my favorite like series, so I do love this collection. I don't know if this has changed since the last time I showed it, but I love it. Just like there's obviously no new figures coming out for it, but it just looks amazing no matter what. So yeah, they look awesome. There's my first cabinet, DC and Star Wars. Alright, we have my next Detolf now, and what's on top of it is a Thanos display, which kind of melds right into the new piece of the collection. I was able to get a banner from a store which does showcase Infinity War, and it does look really awesome. I'm a big fan of the banner, and it really fits with the way that I have my collection set up really nicely. So just give you a look. First of all, this thing, like when I got it, it was so much bigger than I expected. It was just really massive. But what's so cool is that the ceilings are so high in this room that it doesn't look that big in here. It's very strange. Like it's nice that I have the room to do it. But yeah, it looks really cool. So I'm a big fan of that. One thing I love is that you have the right side, which is just full of characters, and then you have kind of the top left side, which has the massive portrait of Thanos, and then the bottom left is a little plain, which works perfectly because I have a figure in the bottom left essentially, since I have him standing on this Detolf cabinet. So it really looks nice, and it just is like a nice backdrop for that Thanos Infinity Gauntlet display. So I have to say I really love that. That's one really big new thing about the collection since the last time I did an update. But yeah, up here I have the Infinity Gauntlet. Have that displayed. Really love that thing. Like, I'm not big into props, but man, I love that thing. And then of course my Hot Toys Thanos, which looks awesome. Have him standing on a Mark 43 base, which I think is cool. And I have like the pieces that the stones come from, like on the base. I think it looks really neat actually. And then I do have another prop for the Tesseract. So I do like that quite a bit. Going down, this cabinet doesn't fit with what's on top of it, of course, but it is my Transformers cabinet. You have the 3A Starscream, which I think looks excellent. Big fan of that figure. I think it looks amazing. Have the autograph of the voice actor next to him. Then down one we have some of my custom figures. These are my custom Decepticons from the last night. Really proud of these customs. You guys seem to really enjoy them, so I definitely wanted to give them a nice prime spot and somewhere where they'd be nice and safe, so put them in here. They look really cool together, and I'm really proud of my work with those. I spent a lot of time on them, and they turned out really cool, I have to say. And then below that we have all my other customs that are just like Decepticons from the last night, so all the other ones in here, slowly adding to this. Probably the Battle Damage Brawl and the Crowbar are the new ones here. Very nice. And then below that we have some of my Masterpiece figures, some of my Seekers, Wheeljack, and then you have Starscream, oh sorry, there's Starscream. You have Soundwave, and some of the smaller ones, and then some of Soundwave's minions. So very nice. Overall, good looking cabinet, and I really enjoyed the top of it. Next up is kind of my centerpiece cabinet. This is kind of the cabinet that sits directly across from the door when you walk in, so it's kind of the centerpiece of the room, I would say. And it does house my my Marvel Hot Toys figures. I do have some more in another cabinet, which I will show you, of course, but here's the majority of them. But yeah, overall, really enjoy that top shelf. You have the classic 6 Avengers. So I've played around with putting more characters in there, but this is how I like it. I keep coming back to this, especially since the majority of the figures that I have from each of those characters is from the first Avengers movie. The only exception to that is Thor, which is from The Dark World. So I just think that they look badass together. The original 6, and considering the new movie is probably going to play off on the original 6 quite a bit, since those are really like the only Avengers left, I think that's just it just makes the shelf even better. So I absolutely love this front shelf, or the center top shelf. I think it looks sweet. Get Hulk in there, Black Widow, Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye. Before we go down, we'll head up to the figures on top of it, which you get some serious shadow there just because I have an extra lamp in here for the video, just so that it helps illuminate everything a little bit better. But those shadows usually aren't in here because they look terrible. But overall, you have like Tony Stark Workshop, his base, the whole thing, and 2 armors next to him. Then go past that. Then we go into my villains. These are my MCU villains. With the exception of one that's not MCU, but he is a Marvel villain. But you have Loki in the dead center, Vigitari kind of flanking him, and then on the sides you have Red Skull. And then move the tripod back. Take it down to the rest of my villains, where you have Ironmonger, Mandarin, Whiplash, even Winter Soldier, another version of Whiplash, both versions of Ultron. You have Electro, who's the one that doesn't really fit, and then Caecilius. That Caecilius, I don't remember which company made that, but it isn't Hot Toys, because Hot Toys, of course, never made Caecilius. My newest addition to the collection, the Hot Toys collection, is Hela here. She looks very nice. Yeah, and then most of the Hot Toys that I have on pre-order are Marvel villains. I have both the new Thanos and Killmonger on pre-order, so those will make nice additions to this collection. Can't wait to add them in. And next over we have my 2D doll cabinets together. I kind of have this kind of short wall like in the corner section, so it really fits nicely to have 2D doll cabinets. Going over the top, which is the much more cluttered section, but I really love it. It's one of my favorite pieces to the collection room. Whenever I show it to anybody, this is like the one that a lot of people gravitate to, actually. But it's really cool because you have a nice, massive TIE fighter, and then it's my First Order Empire collection. You kind of have the darker suits over here, so you have the Death Troopers, the TIE fighter pilots, a couple Imperial officers. At the back, you have my whole regime of stormtroopers, snow troopers, fire troopers, executioner troopers, the whole bit. And then you have a scene going on up front with Snoke's throne, and then directly from The Last Jedi with Rey and Kylo fighting off the Praetorians. I have 9 Praetorians, which is actually more than there is in the movie, but I have a set of 3 with the rubber cloth, or sorry, with the rubber skirts, a set of 3 with the cloth skirts, all 6 from Black Series, and then I have the 3 figure arts ones. And then move back a little bit more. On the other side, we have my, just same as the other one, but it's the lighter one, so it's the shore troopers, the heavy, the tank trooper, the, what are those troopers from Solo called? I can't even remember. I don't remember what they're called, to be honest. Then you have Krennic, of course. You come down, have my bounty hunters from Hot Toys and Sideshow. The Darth Vader and Boba are from Hot Toys, and then the 2 in the back are from Sideshow. Come down, you have some more Funko stuff. These are my Funko Star Wars stuff. Just really don't have a great place to put them, but I do like the Funko figures, so I want to display them. Then my Captain Phasma collection. This has grown a bit. I think, yeah, definitely. That first one up there, the big head is from Disneyland. That's a cup, actually, so I got that for the collection. And then the most recent Disney Store exclusive Battle Damage Captain Phasma I did get. And you have the Arkham figures, of course. And then on the other side, of course, you have the other set of Arkham figures. And we come up, we have my Harley Quinn's collection. So both sides kind of mirror each other from the bottom. You have my Arkham collection all together. Then you have like the shrine from one character on one side and the shrine from another character on the other side, so that's fun. Then my Man of Steel figures, 2 Zods, and Superman. And at the top, we have General Grievous with a couple battle droids looking really great. Really love that figure. But yeah, overall, really enjoy this Detolf cabinet. All the stuff inside of it's really cool, but I do think that the best part of it is the top section. This big display, I think, does look quite nice. And finally, we have my last large cabinet. This one consists of Marvel, of course, again. However, on the top of it, we do have some Star Wars. It's my Elite Series collection. It looks quite nice. I have grown. This is probably the exact same display as you saw in the last collection video. However, I do have 2 more Elite Series figures. I have a Rose, and then I have the Gonk Droid. The Gonk Droid was actually released at Disneyland like a month before it came out at the Disney stores. So I bought it when I found it at Disneyland, because at the time there wasn't any pictures for it. Nobody like was talking about it or had seen it before. So like I kind of saw it like in stores for the first time ever. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. So I did purchase him, but I haven't fit them in here. I'm undecided if I'm going to take them out of package or not. So that's kind of the question. That's kind of the hold up here with the Elite Series collection. But I do like the overall look of it. I think it looks really cool, especially with the wall of in-package figures. We move down to, these are my secondary Avengers, basically. Have Black Panther, some of the newer characters that are going to kind of take over as the main Avengers, I would assume. Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, Vision, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange. Then below that we have my Guardians, which is very light staffed. I did sell Gamora recently. I planned to buy the the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Gamora. However, now I'm starting to question that. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do here. I love the figures that I have in here. It's just there's not many on this shelf. Then at the bottom, it's the same as always. This is kind of the perfect collection, or the perfect display in my opinion for this collection. So I can never see myself changing it because I'm just over the moon with how happy I am as to the design. I just think it looks really cool, especially with them all on their bases. I just think that just looks perfect. So I never really see myself changing that. I never think about changing it either. So yeah, overall the last large cabinet of the room. However, when you do go up, I have some photos from The Last Jedi, and then over my window is a collection of busts from DC. And then this is where you get to the closet, which houses the display. Very dark at the moment, but you can see that in part 1. Alright, and there's part 2 for my collection video. In this, kind of section of the collection, kind of focus on the Hot Toys and all the stuff in the glass cabinets, essentially. So yeah, overall, absolutely love the collection. Love my little room here. I think that it works so perfectly for it, and yeah, I'm having a lot of fun collecting, and of course, I'll keep these updates coming as soon as there's more to update, and figures, of course, will always be coming out, and I'll be adding to it, and then I really enjoy rearranging. However, I'm starting to hit a point where I'm, like, really happy with some of my sets. Like, there's quite a few sets in here, like some of the Captain Phasma and Harley Quinn and the Arkham collection, and then the display at the top of my with all the First Order of characters, and my Avengers display, and the Iron Man one down there. There's a lot of like sections in here that I'm just like so happy with, and I just consider like perfect, that even if I like get the urge to change them up, I never end up doing it because I just like I know that I can't really hit anything better than what I have, in my opinion. So yeah, so I'm starting to hit a point where I'm really like cementing a lot of these, or some of these spots, but of course I always love to update and change them. So yeah, collection updates will be coming out soon, of course, or not soon, but of course I'll still continue to do them. Here's the most recent one though. Let me know what you guys think of my collection, and if you missed out on part 1 where I go through a lot more of the Hasbro figures, feel free to check that out, and thanks so much for watching.